Okay, so I'm a bit of a mess doing my homework, but I just wanted to kind of talk about this, get it on video. So I am working on my psychology writing assignment. I'm supposed to compare two different websites that cover basically the same topic, and that topic is gender identity slash transgender transgenders. And so I'm just supposed to kind of note the differences and the similarities according to their purpose, the owner of the website or the organization and its content, if it's political or if it's biased, if it takes a stance on an issue, lots of things. So there's different, what I'm noticing is, okay, so this website that I'm on, it's from Cora.com, Quora, and I may have been on this website before, but not this topic. I think it's just Cora. What does that mean? I think it has something to do with like question and answer sort of discussion, like a discussion forum, and that's what this is. It's a discussion forum where different people just write in talking about their different experiences with their transgender like process. Not all of them like their transition, but I don't think necessarily all of them are actually going through a transition. They just claim to be in the wrong body. Something like that. Some of them, though, have had surgeries. And they talk about that, too. Some even talk about, like, kind of what they regret. And that's what I find interesting, is you don't hear a lot about that. You don't hear a lot about people who have gone through surgery and then all of a sudden they feel like, almost like, what did I do, you know? Like, this is not what I was expecting. And they're talking about missing certain things about being male or female. And then others are just like angry for anyone who is not wanting to date them for being a transgender. And I'll be honest with you, it sounds pretty hateful. It's like every other word is the F word. And they're just basically, they group everybody that is not, I guess, open to their them being transgender as very hateful, or they just seem to be I hate to say this, but they themselves seem to be full of hate. And just for people being different than they are, like, for viewing that is probably something that, you know, somebody might think that that's being transgender is not their cup of tea, or just maybe confusion, and they respond very hatefully to anybody who doesn't support them. And I don't think that's necessary, but honestly, what it sounds like is that they don't do well with rejection in general. And so to kind of, you know, displace that insecurity or that pain, they're spewing a lot of hate. And then there's this other one that I was reading where I have to like read it over and over again because I don't understand. It's hard to understand. There's a hateful person. So there was I don't know who's asking these questions. But it says, would you be offended if someone wouldn't date you because you are transgender? It says, J. Alexis Lee, trans woman, researcher, advocate. Originally answered, would you be offended if someone wouldn't date you because you're trans? I don't know if she's asking and answering the same question. I don't know who the author is. That's kind of vague. It's unclear. Yeah, I mean, look, okay. The whole article that she wrote, or I don't know what you call it, her whole paragraph, what she had to say was so. She's like, oh, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is, and I really don't care, and a 10 is someone stop me from breaking this. Mother Blanker's face. How offended am I? Depends on the circumstances. And she actually goes through and lists like all these different scenarios. But even at number 1, she is cursing them out. And it's like that throughout the whole paragraph. All her paragraphs. And the last thing that she says is, I mean, yeah, look, she keeps talking about bigotry and blah, blah, blah. And last thing she says, I don't want a thing to do with your transphobic ass. Get over yourself. So it's very ironic to me how these people who are calling everybody else bigots are themselves the ones who seem to have the most hatred for other people that are not like them. I mean, you're reading this, and I'm reading this, and I'm just kind of like, ouch. I mean, it's just like daggers. Like, she's just attacking. And I mean, I understand that she feels attacked, but I don't, just because somebody attacks me, like, for being a Christian, like, I get called bigot. I've been defriended. I've been called closed-minded. I've been hung up on by friends who first of all, they don't even understand what I'm saying, but they hang up on me because they think I'm a bigot, because my beliefs and my values, my convictions are totally different. And right away, I'm just like labeled as this hateful bigot, closed-minded, hateful bigot. But I don't feel the urge to cuss at them back and say hateful things about them, because you know what? I don't have that hate in my heart. I know that I know exactly why I believe what I believe. I know exactly why. I've studied the Bible, and I've had personal encounters with God and confirmation, over and over again throughout my life that He's real and that His word is true. So I've never once, I don't hate anybody just because they don't believe the Bible or don't believe in God or think Christians are bigots. I don't attack those people. I don't curse those people out, because I don't have that in my heart towards them, for them. And, I guess I'm generalizing. You can't really do that. You can't generalize people, you really can't. So this transgender, I feel that they, by the words, seems like they have a lot of just, I think that they're struggling with rejection, and they don't know how else to handle it except to lash out. I mean, we've all been there. And then there's this, where is it? Here it is. I don't know who's asking these questions, but it says, are you transgender? What do you want people to know about you? And it's someone named Gracie Claire Skyver, comma, baby A at identical twins. I don't know. But she goes, my name is Gracie Skyvener. I am transgender and straight. Yes, you read that right. There's a common misconception that trans women must be lesbian. I'm already confused. I have no idea why people automatically assume this, but I just want to clarify that it's inaccurate. I'm going to stop right there. So, this person, first of all, they said they have no idea why people automatically assume that a transgender woman must be lesbian. So why wouldn't you have any idea why people would automatically assume this? It's like she's admitting she's clueless about this, but then she speaks on the other half of the sentence. She sounds like she's an expert on it by saying, I just want to clarify that it's inaccurate. So in other words, we are the stupid ones because what are we basing this on? So she's like saying we have no logical reason to believe, no foundational reason to believe what we believe. So let me clear this up. Let me tell you how it really is. So she's an expert, supposedly. Honestly, I don't know what. Okay, so she says her name is Gracie. She's transgender and straight. There's a common misconception that trans women must be lesbian. So if you're a trans woman, I guess you are biologically a man who turns into a woman. And then they say there's a misconception that trans women must be lesbian. Because what, guys are naturally attracted to women, and so she's saying that trans women must be lesbians. So she's saying, why would you think that just because I was born a guy that I would be attracted to women? Gee, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you automatically assume this? So she's saying basically that for anybody nowadays to think on like the heterosexual norms, that's not normal anymore. That you shouldn't just assume that people are heterosexual. But then, okay, so let me read on. She goes, so some trans women are lesbians. So that would actually really mean they were straight men. But now they want to be women. But they're still attracted to women. Some trans women are lesbians, but not all of them. Just like any other woman, we can like women, men, both. Other, or none. I never heard of that. You don't hear too much about that. Other or none? Usually we have needs, you know? We are attracted to people and each other. Opposites attract. It's comes down to chemistry. I mean, the very basics of chemistry is that opposites attract. Another thing, I'm not just a gay guy in denial. Gay guy in denial? Wait, what? Okay, this is confusing. I'm not just a gay guy in denial. Okay, so first they're saying they're a transgender woman, and now they're saying, I'm not a gay guy. I am a guy, but I'm not a gay guy in denial. I am a guy, and I do like women. Oh my gosh, it's confusing. Okay, so I'm trying to understand. So they are a guy. They want to be a woman, but they're attracted to guys. So that's why they're saying, I'm not a gay guy in denial of, okay, I don't pretend to be a straight girl, oh, because I'm a guy that doesn't want to be gay. I guess, okay. My boyfriend is straight as arrow and understand this. That's it. So, okay, this is a guy then who likes other guys, but they're saying, I don't really feel like I'm a guy. I'm a woman. So I guess they're identifying they're saying that they are a straight woman inside of a guy's body. I don't know how, like, your thinking can even get to that. How does who even begins to entertain such weird thoughts like that? And I know I sound judgmental. I don't know this person's story, but that's the thing. Honestly, it's very confusing. And I feel like they themselves have got to be so confused. I mean, it is confusing. There's all kinds of questions. Would you be in a relationship with a cross-dresser? Why are dogs considered masculine and cats feminine? Can you find transgender animals in nature? What? Yes, there have been documented cases of transgender animals. Okay, let's see. It says lioness, but that's a boy. Nope, that's a transgender of gender fluid lioness. Oh God. Experts say evolutionists to think as the Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is so confusing to me. So I'm looking at a picture of a lion with a mane. So that's a male lion. It's a lion. And the bottom it says lioness, but that's a boy. And then it says, nope, that's a transgender or gender fluid lioness. So they're saying it's a lion, a male lion, but inside he's a female lioness. How do you come to that conclusion? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I'm sorry, I really am not trying to laugh, but I'm sorry, but that's just, superficially, first glance, I'm sorry, but, like, first impression, that's funny. It's just funny. I gotta read this. Okay, so experts say evolution is to think as the lioness has naturally adopted the characteristics of her male counterparts in order to survive. I mean, even women these days have to do it with the men bailing out on their families. I mean, a woman has to be mother and father and take on all these different roles and responsibilities, but doesn't mean her body parts change. So she has grown a mane to full invading prides into thinking she is male, as well as developing a deeper and more masculine roar. However, Mamoriri who was first discovered back in 2012, is not alone. The scientists believe she is one of 5 lions in the area with the same adaptations. Even if that's true, I have heard of, like, I mean, women, when we go through menopause and we get hairier and other things like that, but I mean, it's still part of being a woman. See, there are also many other examples of transgender animals or animals that defy their traditional male or female gender. So, are they basing it solely on, if this is even true, that she grew a mane and has like a deeper voice? I can understand for survival reasons why nature would allow that if that is the case. But it's not like a psychological thing that's going on here. There's a difference between like survival of the fittest, I would think, and a psychological like gender dysmorphia, which that's a mental disorder. That's how I interpret it to be. I mean, there was this person earlier, I mean, and it makes me so, honestly, just being honest with you, it makes me so angry that they would do this to kids. That they would do surgery on them and inject them with hormones, testosterone. I mean, and they are minors. They are underage. It's like, let them grow up. Let their brains fully develop. Their brains are not even fully mature yet. And they are interfering with their development. Especially the first one I read about. This little kid. I mean, first of all, the first picture that they show is, she's a pretty girl. She's a very pretty girl. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Who obviously is like an orphan because she's in and out of foster homes. It says, I was born October 30th, 2001. I feel super in an abusive home. So trigger warning for pictures with me with bruises. This is me at 9, the one in the purple dress. Red flag. There's a picture of her in front of a Christmas tree with other children. She's got bruises. She's got a black eye and like bruises right here along her neck. She's obviously gone through some kind of abuse. Emotional, physical, I mean, that affects you mentally. So didn't anyone look into that to see like, well, maybe that's her way of coping with what's happening to her? Like, that's her way of coping with it, is to convince herself that she's a guy or something. There's all different, I mean, you gotta dig deeper instead of just assume that like, oh, well, she is trapped in the wrong body. There's obviously something not right psychologically, because not only because of the abuse that she has gone through at 9 and maybe even younger, here at 11, I don't see it there in that picture, but where did it begin? There's pictures where she has, and she admits what they are. She admits that they are, a lot of them. There's a lot of markings where she cut herself. She says she did it in her thighs and forearms. It's like all over. There's just these slashes that she did to herself. So, I mean, to me, that is just a gateway to the body self-mutification of, she had her breasts removed. And she's underage while this is going on. She's 15, 16 years old, taking testosterone and having her breast cut off at, I think, 17. I know she was not even 18 yet. I just can't believe that I can't believe that they do this to kids. These are kids who obviously are not well. This kid's obviously not well. I mean, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, this kid, needs compassion, needs some help psychologically, and instead it's like they are just giving power to whatever their anguish is. They're already cutting themselves, and then they go ahead and cut her boobs off too while they're at it. They just go cut her boobs off. Is more mutilation what this child really needs? It's a question, and I don't know how they evaluate these children, but I also don't know why they don't wait either until their brains are fully matured, because I mean that's part of science and the medical field is the brain is not fully developed yet. I mean, and then there's the brain and then there's the mind. The brain houses the mind. So when I don't like to say mental illness so much, I say mental disorder, because I think something's just out of order with the way that they are thinking. And of course that, can contribute to how you're feeling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you feel that way now, you're always going to feel that way. I mean, there's the very first one I read, yeah, they were regretting their decision from switching from male to female. It just makes me really angry for these people. Like, I really care. I mean, I never really done research I've never read really personal testimonies from people, but it makes me angry for them. Like, I'm so angry for them. I have compassion for these people, and I'm just like, they're not really getting the help that they really need, I don't think. That's what I'm seeing. They're not really getting the help that they're really needing. They're just, instead it's like they're just part of some agenda, Oh, it makes me so angry. What they're doing to these children. The name of what? It's like I'm the bad guy because I don't think that there might be something wrong here, and I care. There might be something very wrong psychologically and spiritually, and I don't mean that in a I don't mean it in a condemning way whatsoever. I mean it in a compassionate way. Like, they need true help. They need somebody who really cares. Somebody who truly cares enough to deal with them, truthfully. Instead of just going along with the pressures of society. I don't even know really where it comes from. Like, I mean, this doesn't seem sane. Like, who is thinking this way, that they're saying that it's okay and that it's healthy and that it's the norm, or that it's even the moral thing to do to children. It's just mind-boggling. And here I am trying to do my homework, and I'm just getting really upset hearing these stories from children. It's just so much confusion. There's just so much confusion and emotional anguish that they are feeling. And they're being told that it's because they're trapped in the wrong body. How do you know? How do you know that's not a symptom of what's really wrong with them? What's the root cause here?